so far forward with it, but a showstopper out into the back of side. Oxy gets 2.
Moldoro, vamos ver o Crash, já desarmando metade, Leias pega o primeiro de lado, Tutu!
Welcome back to the post-map, folks. Cloud9, a striking win in that second map of Icebox over Loud to take us to a third. Maybe in the fashion we expected, but the cleanliness of this, we talk about those analogies. The cleanliness of Cloud9 there was quite striking, but it definitely kind of felt like stylistically, they were on the same page as they were on Buy, and things just went a lot more in their favor. One of those parts, again, we're going back to it, has to be Oxy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, map 1 was an oily, messy match.
It was
Map
slick,
2,
yes.
This was a lot cleaner. I think they were doing a lot of the same things, and I think the defining factor of Cloud9's gameplay is Oxy and how often he's fighting forward and pressing these advantages.
And this is what I'm saying when it's professional overheater, because C9 fully unleash him to go for peaks like that, where he's pushing all the way into enemy spawn and getting in crazy positions. And that, of course, is from game 1. But this is a consistent thing that he was doing as well on that Icebox map, where he's dashing up onto Raptor of A site, peeking into spawn, and he's catching Loud in angles where no normal player is doing that. This is professional Valorant. You get your kill and you back away. But C9 say, no, actually, just keep going.
Just keep going. I think the thing that Oxy does extremely well, which we actually saw today, was him finding those weaknesses and pinpointing those little gaps that he can kind of abuse to push forward. A lot of duelists aren't able to just see a gap and kind of have the full confidence to kind of full send, make sure they go through it. But Oxy, he did not care.
And that style that's so innate to Oxy and Cloud9 is exactly how you beat Harbor Viper when you're playing on your attack side. You push forward, you don't play off site, you press your advantages, because if you play back, if you kind of hunker down, you're going to get overwhelmed by Harbor Viper utility, and then they're going to flood back in on the retake and stick onto that spike. It's absolutely how to beat them, and it's all the better that this is how Oxy likes to play. But, I mean, we have to turn our attention to Loud, because some of the things they were doing were ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, well, before we get to Loud, I just quickly have to highlight.
Oh, sorry, this is the other mid-split round.
No, this is the actual mid-split round. There was a crazy Loud mid-split.
Yes.
This was a C9 actually execute a mid-split nicely, and it was using some of the ideas. Like, you used to see plays like that with the Sage walling her team up onto Boiler, like way back in the day when Sage was the de facto pick on this map every single time. And I like it because instead of running through that choke on pallet where you have to look to the right because there's players that could be screen, you have to look to your left because they could be Boiler, they could be coming out of kitchen over in the back there. Instead, it helps you isolate your angle, so you do Boiler first, then you can turn right and actually deal with the screens player before eventually looking over to the left. So in a usual position, like, no one can A-split on Icebox because that area sucks. But with the Sage wall, actually opens you up to be able to do it.
Okay, can we talk about the round, the pistol round in the second half where Loud just like
spawn.
walled and full ran into spawn? I mean, some of the ideas they had were crazy that game. It felt a little desperate towards the end.
Yeah, definitely a couple moments, right? I feel like they were really undone because Cloud9 is also still trying to fight them whenever they possibly can, right? I think, like, we talked about Oxy, now we're talking about Cloud9's wider style. Seems like he fits into that really well. This still feels like a chaos team, even on a cleaner map.
But they're so good in the chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, I feel like C9 thrives in the chaos even. Like, they see the other team, like, pushing through spawn. They're like, oh, nice. Yeah, let's go for this. I like this. And Oxy's just like, yeah, let's open up. Let's go. I think both teams thrived in chaos today, but I think C9, that Icebox just came out on top.
We're going to, of course, revisit our map set here and set our sights on Lotus for a finisher here. This is going to be Loud starting on defense. And what's standing out to you at the moment, especially now how we've had the tone set over the course of this series already?
Honestly, I think that Lotus plays more similar to a Bind in the sense of, like, the brawliness of the map, right? Like, Icebox is a very, like, jet-dominated map. You can take much deeper lines, whereas Lotus, similar to a Bind, you're fighting over very specific areas of the map. So I think Loud need a bit of a reset after that second game, but this should be much more equal footing.
Yeah, one thing we talked about for Bind was that Loud's re-clear on their defense side, and the fact that they could just take space, even if it was solo, was so prominent. I think going into Lotus, we saw Sentinels do a really good job of pushing those lines and taking those lines by themselves, solo aggressing, and I feel like Loud is definitely the team to be able to do that, and I think it's a lot more team-centered and a lot less Oxy go kill centered. So
Still, when they're on the attacking side, I think his style of fighting forward into the post plants and preventing set retakes is really important on this map. Especially on C and A post plants, you need a guy who's going to either push heaven or push spawn, and he'll do that very well.
I just think that Lotus is a map that is not so defined by like actual site execs as it is fighting over space like
it's
Mount
those early
and
fights that make the round.
Exactly, and that's the place where you can sort of contain a little bit more. Loud are going to be playing a very heavy util comp here. As no surprise on this Lotus map, it's all about dominating that early space.
Mirna, what do you... Oh, I was going to talk about that comp. What is this? Deadlock for Sadak. So they have no
first
real
thing,
Sentinel
lurks are in because there's no real Sentinel info. But what Deadlock does do is shut down heavy execs very nicely because the sensors are actually pretty nasty when you are satcheling into a play. But that's...
The wall, too, is ridiculous stall. I'm so excited.
I mean, you just buy an Odin and the wall is like really
this is what happens. You get the keys to the city over the coaching staff, and Sadak says, yes, sir, I'll 3 bags full. I'll play this composition. It's map 3 time, folks. Can Loud bounce it on back and pick up their first win of the stage after a rough start? Let's head back to your casters, Doug and Baby Bay.
This is madness. I thought Deadlock was going to visit us on Icebox a couple of weeks ago, courtesy of EG, and then we'd never see her again. But alas, lo and behold, we've got Deadlock on Lotus. I don't even know what to say here. This is insane.
I know exactly what to say. Somewhere, some stream, Baby J, aka now Inspire, is just fuming. He's like, it could have been me. It should have been me. Shout out to Inspire, but yeah, this is gonna be crazy. And you know what? They definitely cooked on it for sure. If they're gonna be willing to play some things like this, I expect to see them probably more dialed in on this comp than what we saw in the last map with their default comp. I don't think they spent much time working on their icebox. I think they thought that it was so secured in the bag since they're 4-1 on it that they didn't need to improve too much, and they got exposed. But for this, they probably put a lot of their focus onto this comp, so let's see what they can cook up here.
And you know, we spent so much time thinking and theory crafting about what Deadlock would do on defense on Lotus. What does Sadak do? Just run out and fight. No utility setup, no nothing.
Yeah.
He just goes. I guess that's how you play Deadlock.
It's actually pretty smart that he's doing it towards this A side too, because he actually used his little nade to see if the Viper lurked through past that wall. There is an audio cue that happens once it lands, and it did not.
Well, those shots landed from Cloud9, and he's gotten to. I mean, if memory serves me right, Loud haven't won a single pistol this series. So this would be a massive start for them.
Yeah, that would be nice. Pistols are kind of good in this game.
Yeah, they're okay. And now we're already seeing some of the value of the Deadlock.
I like it.
The wall is just miserable to get through. Moose is going to be there for a little while.
I like it. And once the economy gets rolling a little bit, you're going to be able to put down those traps.
Somebody help the man.
Oh!
30 seconds
Finally.
left.
We celebrate everything here.
Yeah. Breaking a Deadlock wall. Oh, Sepper with the God timing. Oh, and this is a B plant right off of that.
They're making a run of this thing. I thought the round may have been done and dusted.
Oh, and we're depositing Rooney. Oh,
A classic at that distance is tough to find value.
look at the mini-map. Look at Zeppa. He's so pushed up. He's got a wrap already.
He's going to find an insane timing. Collinzine with 3, but again, Zeppa could be the difference maker.
One enemy
They
remaining.
know where he is. The snap from 2E's is clean. Loud will get the pistol.
Good heads-up awareness from 2E's there. Understanding that once the person in Baby Door, Broken Door got taken out, since there wasn't an automatic trade from anybody in water, he's probably getting wrapped. So that's why you saw him take a step back there and just wait for that wrap.
Yeah.
Timing ends up perfectly for him. And Kawazine, what a start. And this is all because that Deadlock controlled that entire A side of the map.
Thank you. Thank you for showing us that.
Yeah, for real.
Sorry, you were saying Deadlock controlling all of A.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah. And now a new setup already from Loud. Bringing the Deadlock over towards that C anchor. I like the way that Sadhawk is deciding to use the wall. He's actually just holding onto it for quite a bit of time and using it late.
Cloud9, expected Cloud9 approach. They get a Guardian in the hands of Oxy.
Yeah.
Let him hold W and go kill. We'll see if he can find value this time. Les has been flirting with danger.
Yeah, I wouldn't jump spot that again. But he knows that. That's why he's backing up. Whoa!
Oxy tried, or excuse me, QCK tried finding a timing, and he did.
That was super risky.
It was.
QCK.
He had a Spectre.
Maybe he was getting spammed or something from a Deagle. Had to go for the peak, potentially.
So they bought a Vandal and a Spectre into the round and then just pistols.
Sadok's only here with a Ghost and Light Armor. This is actually the right place to hit.
Paranoia, he's been able to dodge it.
Oh, he broke the trap. Oxy broke the trap.
30 seconds left.
Oh, that's going to buy some time.
Oh, the perfect nade. And Molly.
He's not getting out of there. He's dead.
Wonderful kill.
Not again. These 4 spies that C9 do, Oxy just gets so much value. It's like he turns into Superman. Whoa.
10 seconds
That
left.
was risky. He still punishes less. Oxy finding another with the Guardian, looking for the last, and it will fall.
And I'm just so curious as to why Loud only invested 2 guns into the round. They had 3 ghosts.
Yeah, they had a Spectre and then the Vandal.
That was it.
And that really isn't that much more of an advantage when.
But did they do it on purpose? Because look at their money. They full save.
They almost full save. Yeah.
Did they almost full save? This is so unique. Is this a counter strat to the 4 spy that C9 like to do? But why?
Maybe. I don't know. I'd rather be
so
up
many
2-0.
questions.
Yeah, I'd rather be up 2-0
as to
than
why this
1-1
is happening
with money right now.
I'm so confused. But they have pretty much a full buy into this round. This might be the craziest chess match of all time. I mean, we're predicting the force buy without buying, hoping that you win it.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is something else.
I don't know. Either way.
Early C default from C9, but they are going to come back to A. And once this wall comes up, QCK should take a step in front.
He's ahead of it with the judge. They know he's there. He finds one. He gets a second. With the paranoia setup too, yeah. And Tui's is still hanging around. Should find some space B, or at least they think it's safe. But the thing is, Loud have already filled into the space that was previously vacated. Sadok gets his 2.
Spike down.
That's the spike, and Vanity has a lot to figure out here.
Nice round. I guess the buy worked out.
No, stop.
For Loud. A new meta. A whole new world.
That's a first.
But
I'm pretty
C9
sure.
still have a full buy into this round too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. QCK getting 2 there is huge.
한 명. 가서 더 배우.
Man, I was really hoping they were going to catch you singing in the background of that one.
Right?
Let's make some chaos.
All right, we'll see what the plays here. Zepez is ult online. Seems like they're going to try to go fast there towards A, at least fight for the space. The Dizzy comes up. Oxy smashes his face into the wall and still gets a kill on QCK.
QCK just got caught out there by that flash, got distraught.
Does he wrap back with this? He does.
Yeah, definitely.
A little exploratory mission from Thrash.
Is the door broken?
I don't know. No,
Not
it's
broken
not.
this time, so.
Sadok is waiting on the other side.
Yeah.
He's got the sensors. He's got the wall B. And Les is in a really good position to play contain here. So they've got him corralled and controlled towards A. The thing is, both Kalanzine and Tui's are in a tough spot. Tui's went forward. Tui's TP'd in, but he gets spammed by Vanity. Rooney cleans him up as well. This thing fell apart real fast for Loud.
That was very ambitious. From Tui's, the little guy got the plant down. That was so ambitious.
Shout out, Wingman. Yeah, that was super ambitious. I loved the way they were playing contain, right? Again, Les was up really far. In fact, he hasn't left that position that he's in right now for like a solid 45 seconds to a minute. They had contained mid with Sadok. It was just Tui's and Kalanzine who were playing really far up on door, and they got punished.
Yeah, and had Tui's decided to maybe TP back, further back into A, he probably could have protected his teammate.
Well, I don't know, because then maybe he gets farther enough away from Coenzine that only one gets tagged, but he's in a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That is true. And it was good from C9 to keep tapping that door, keep baiting out the utility, keep baiting out the smokes, wait for that Thrash to come back up, and then re-exec onto that area. It doesn't matter that there's a one-way up when you have a Gecko ult running at you.
God, he was cooking.
I mean, Vanity knew as soon as he saw that nobody was protecting the guy on site. Yeah, he's like, wow, that guy really did that?
Yeah, he tried that.
That's crazy. I mean, that was it. Like I said, ambitious TP. But since Loud have been doing these weird buys, they still have a gun round. Full light armor. There are a couple Phantoms out of the side of C9 though, so that will be a one-shot kill. Onto every single player from Loud. And that's scary.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not and how Sadak uses his ult. You know, we've had so many conversations about how Deadlock will play. This is another, I mean, unexpected thing that if you're Cloud9, you're going to have to figure out, right? Because like, you're likely not scrimming against a Deadlock on Lotus very often.
Yeah. This is something that you see out of ranked. Does this wall block the rocket satchels?
I don't know.
Does it disrupt Oxy's movement? Looks like it won't even have to.
Oxy satchel in forward B.
Oh, that's... What?
Oh. He took some damage, but it was not enough to get the kill. That aid might help. No, he stays alive through all of that? Tragic, tragic scenes. They've got the Nightfall down. The Spike is sitting out in the middle of nowhere. And now Loud can fill the space. This feels like part of the issue with... QCK ulted
30
there.
seconds left.
It feels like part of the issue with this Gecko approach, right? We see teams running Gecko a lot. But if you just send Wingman in to die, you have to regain all the space that you've lost.
Yeah.
And Loud are happy to hold this.
One enemy
Yo,
remaining.
this guy is locked in right now, Doug. Oh, that was so close.
Yeah, he almost did that.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is he's not going for body shots. Like, he wanted to line up that headshot.
Yeah.
That's how
He took his
confident he
time
is
with
right
it,
now.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, he could have probably easily killed him if he just shot the body, but this guy's like, no. I'm trying to one-tap everybody right now. This was it. Yeah. This was a really
The
nice
nade
shot.
wasn't deep enough. I was wondering where the nade went because I knew he was weak.
Aw. Don't beat yourself up too much, Oxy, in this timeout.
Still top right.
I'm sure he's fine. Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. And you know what? Sometimes it's hard to hit that nade. You got to like do a jump spot nade on it. By the time he re-peaked, he realized he was just like a little bit off. Didn't go quite deep enough, like you said, and he gets punished for it. I mean, really nice shot from Kawazine, though, to punish that. And still, light armor across the board, except for QCK. Which is ironic, because he was glass cannon a lot of the last map.
Amy calling a timeout for Cloud9, which we haven't seen since map 1. Managed to get away through all of Icebox without having to press that button.
Yeah.
You want to hear what the conversation is too, because it feels really early for a timeout.
I'm going to assume the conversation is, let's start going somewhere other than B. Because honestly, C9 has dabbled with B almost every single one of these rounds. Again, much similarly to Icebox, right? They went B so much. Obviously, this map has 3 different sites, but you could see C9's game plan is to condition a certain site, and then that will open up the other avenues of going to A, going to C. So maybe a change here. Maybe they won't end B this time, but still try to probably finesse it.
Uh-oh.
This is right on the mark.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Oh, so close.
He's down to 50 HP.
Oh my God.
He's gonna get more. How has he gotten away with this?
So much damage.
Toxin screen down.
I mean, Vanity did all the work. Rooney gets the kill. It's the life of an IGL, I guess.
Yeah. C9 has been so good at getting the first blood in this series in general. Last map they had 13. This map they just got 2.
He's so
unanswered. 3 unanswered kills.
They handle the pressure A, and then they respond in kind with pressure C. Kills all over the place.
Yeah. No way they're gonna go and B again. I guess this time it's good. It's a 5v2. You got the wingman to plant for you.
They're careful with it.
Yeah.
Satcheling across, the nade, the spit, everything. Well,
Spike planted.
maybe not careful enough. Oh, that sucks. Les is in a 1v4,
Copy kill.
which turns to a 1v3. Spike just planted, but he's getting surrounded. Has to take the fight in front of him. And Oxy's there to greet him. We're tied at 3 apiece.
You saw it in this round. C9 just playing a very, very slow default. Pretty much just like a 2-1-2 in a way. Yeah, 2-1-2. There it is. Finding kills in every lane.
Yeah.
It's very, very impressive. Not something you see every day.
And
it all happens from that A kill.
Yeah, it's just so hard to state the advantage you have when you're able to win every single lane at the beginning of the round. I mean, it's almost impossible to lose. The light buy from Loud forces a little bit of pace. The paranoia hits almost everyone, but Oxy still spamming, getting a kill on a Kalanzine. Oh, that's a terrible boost to TP. Manages to stay alive. Tui's eventually falls. It was a bit labored, delaying the inevitable.
Second Gecko ult of the map so far. It's really stressing orbs on the Gecko, getting plants on the Gecko has been the name of the game so far. Sadak still hasn't used this ult.
No, he's been holding on to that thing.
And to be fair, there hasn't really been a moment where it's been like, okay, yeah, you can use the ult now.
Yeah.
I think if they really wanted to, they could do something really cool with the Deadlock ult towards the A side of the map, but who knows?
I think part of the thing is, too, is with Cloud9 rolling in bunches, even if you do get tagged, you're going to get cleared. So it's a...
Oh,
yeah,
that's
you're
a great
right.
Molly.
I think it's a tough situation for him to find space to use it. QCK falls, Sadak and Let's remain. And that quickly just turns into Sadak, who's gone exploring.
Oh,
that was a classic.
No charges.
Moose must have been weak.
Sentinel diff? I mean... Nah,
He's just getting
I
out
was
of
gonna
there,
say,
yeah.
there is a world.
Grab that weapon and get out.
Kills the 2 1 HP players. Pop salt against Rooney. That'd be something special.
I think this is the first round that hasn't gone back and forth. This will be the first time either team wins 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah. Just going for exits here. He has a full buy.
No charges. Barrier
What is he up to?
Everyone's low here, though. Just damage.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah,
Can't get the transfer.
and he dealt a fair amount of damage. Only 1 rifle carried over. Cloud9 get up to 4. And I think we have to revisit, what tools Loud have at their disposal and when they're going to pull the trigger on it. I like the idea here. It was really aggressive. They TP forward, they paranoia'd, and I mean, it was just all the spams from Cloud9 that proved it be too much for Loud.
Yeah, I mean, what more can you ask for? You know, you're on Eco. You have a scrappy buy. The fact that they even got 4 kills in the round is a W in itself. Maybe Sadhawk needs to just fight for A more often and just lock that side of the map down for his team. Another 2-1-2 start. Deciding to put an aggro turret into B main.
Twiz is so far up with the op.
Yeah, he should be getting punished right here.
Oh, that one way keeps him safe. They wait out the paranoia. Oh, I thought he was going to go forward. He can't get out in the one who goes up. Yeah.
I mean, he really greeted that for way too long. I even said it. You know, I was like, dude, you got to get out of there. C9 have been doing that C side default with the same utility. Nothing's really changed. Should have been aware.
QCK can't find the kill onto Oxy. It seemed like he had the jump on him too. Kalanzine pushing forward, waiting on the other side of the ult. Sadak gets caught, but they have no idea where he is. And maybe that gives Kalanzine a little bit of room to work, but look who's waiting on the other side. A tap at the door. Moose feeling pressure from either side, looking to find the target. It's just Kalanzine now.
He needs to go.
Oh, he finds it. Moose falls. It's a 3v3. He's finally going to use the ult. And it's nothing. Yeah, it doesn't connect onto anyone. So it's still up. And they're just going to rotate away.
Are they going to A?
They're not going C.
Oh my gosh.
13 seconds left. They should be able to get towards
Oh,
the
wait,
end of
wait,
the
wait.
spike down.
Oh, no, they got it. They got it. Would have been something special, though.
About half a second.
Jeez.
Cloud9 is disposed of. Numbers in favor of Cloud9. Oxy's so weak. Sadak and Les now arriving at the scene. Cloud9 have already set up their positions. They've already established themselves. They've already taken the control they want. Filled the space. But Oxy falls. A 2v2 now. How much more can Les find? Nothing. Can Sadak be the hero again for Loud? Where rounds have been so hard to come by. This feels like a must. He's gotten it down to 1. No idea of where Zeppa might be. And look at him buying his time. Sadak reads him. He gets his 3. And he gets Loud to 4.
He's a one-man army right now. IGLing, fragging. He's so in the moment right now. He's dialed in. Yeah, he had some whiffs. But he's recovered so well.
The Red Bull clutch to keep things close. I guess once you realize that there wasn't anyone tree, there was nobody back site.
Wow.
It was just process of elimination at that point.
This guy, man. Really keeping his team in the game. 4 rounds on the defense is pretty good, too. Like, this is a good half right now for Loud. If they can scrap another 2, that's phenomenal.
11-6 for the deadlock.
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually really nice.
Learn
I
from
like
his mistakes.
Yeah, I like what they tried doing there. The one ways. Oh, he still gets a kill? That's insane.
I mean,
I got you.
that puts Oxy on 11 now, too.
The fragging battle everyone expected going into this series. Sadak versus Oxy.
This might be one of the first times we see an early wall come out from Sadak, so that's something new to look out for. And Moose is wise to that.
Tui's is just getting destroyed on mound.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like what they're trying to do. They're playing on the other side of his one way. They're trying to control that area, but Cloud9 feeling a lot of the pressure, has to give the space up. Cloud9 happy to stroll right in. Now where do they go from here? Do they even attempt this? They don't have a ton of money.
Les is so far away, and he has a judge. I don't know, I feel like a part of you kind of has to, right? Except for maybe Sadak, who has the Vandal. Maybe you save the Vandal, you try to get upgrades if you can.
I guess.
Staying on a judge, especially when you're a player like Les, isn't like ideal, I would say.
Maybe they swap things around. It's not even like they're going to have the pit in the next round. Use the judge well.
Yeah.
I think the one, I guess, maybe benefit to give to this is the fact that these rounds have been so close. This map has been so close, right? It's been back and forth every time that it's not like you're forcing your way back into this, right? You're staring up a deficit that you have to somehow find a way to overcome.
It reminds me a lot of the first map that we got to witness.
Yeah.
It's like the same exact scenario. Both teams just not really getting a lead. It's not a blowout like the second map. That's a crazy kill.
With a Bulldog, no less.
Wow.
It's very impressive. Loud calls a timeout. Actually, I really like this because these discussions have been taking place for the last 20, 30 seconds, right? From when the round ended, they knew they were saving. So, you know, the conversation has been robust, I'm sure. It goes straight into a timeout, and this feels like a moment for Loud to try to find their footing here.
And like, it's so tough to call into this round because there's another Thrash online.
Yeah.
And you can really go anywhere with it. And the way that Zeppa's been using it is he always brings it back to himself so he can re-pick it up once he clears certain space.
I think the other thing that's tough about this is I know the score is very close. I know Cloud9's just up 1 round, but it feels like the score shouldn't be this close. It really feels like Cloud9 are in control here. Tui's has been getting beat up on C almost every single round. We've seen some cool stuff with the Deadlock, but really not many. The person who's top fragging for Loud is Sadak. And that, I mean, that's a tough ask to like, yeah, we need you to continue to deliver. If it was less on top, sure, right? You can ride that all the way to the end, but it's a lot to ask Sadak to continue to frag for Loud the way he has. So again, I know the score is close, but it really feels like Cloud9 are way more in control here.
Yeah, and the C default just seems like Loud has no answer for it.
It seems like they're going to try to fight for A instead. C wasn't really working for him. The smoke, they get QCK, a little bit closer to having his ult online. They've got to understand here the approach is different, right? They haven't seen that one way that they've seen every single round. Meanwhile, for Cloud9, again, the respect that they're showing. Look at how far back they're playing. They have 2 members in spawn.
C9 are playing really good reactionary Valorant right now. They're doing a spread default across the board and just reacting off of what utility is being thrown from the side of Loud.
I mean, that really lets Vanity call the game the way he wants.
Yeah.
Right? It's just feeding information to the brain, and the brain decides where to go from there.
Yeah, and in this round, you saw them just spotting the A very safely from the back. They were actually worried that there might be a trap play in the actual A main area, so they played in spawn this time. And once all that utility came out at A, they took the C space. And now they're going to be creeping up B after that I.
Yeah, they also just draw out the paranoia from 2Es, so they're not going to have to worry about that anymore. Now the Thrash invested. At the spot, anyone know? Oxy gets punished, actually, as they try to funnel behind it.
Finally, by the way. Finally gets punished on the entry here.
The wall's waiting on the other side. Les is not far behind. He has that judge. Can he find value? Oh, I thought he was going to whiff. Gets a kill onto Vanity. Where do Cloud9 go from here? 13 seconds left. They haven't found any space. I don't know that there's anywhere to get in.
Yeah, this might just be a hard save.
Huh.
So Loud making a great adaptation there. Having a C hold with a judge's back sight. Deadlock throws her little cage there, allowing the rotate to be. And flooding out before the actual hit comes in. That Thrash sometimes can be so hard to clear out everything on a site like B. You know, you can't just exactly jump up into that heaven area for free. You got to do a whole process going into that. You have the door that you got to worry about, and then the people in water, so.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and Sadak actually throwing the nade there too.
Yeah. You wonder here too how, because that's been a lot of the excitement around the Deadlock pick, right? How do you stop the hard execs? How do you stop the aggression that you know we're gonna get from Oxy, right? He goes forward, he holds W. That's the first time we really kind of saw it play out.
Toxins going up.
Rooney just got this kill on a jump spot, I think. Just one tapped them out of the air, and now they're gonna go straight into a C hit. Full aggro.
Dude, as soon as they know, Oxy's trapped essentially. He's got nowhere to go. The only way out is, well, he's been joined. Vanity clears it out. Now they have a little bit of room to work, and they've been stuck again.
Whoa!
They just can't find any space.
I think Sadak thought that there was still smoke up in that choke, but there wasn't.
They finally get past that pesky wall.
That was a big misplay there from Sadak, who's honestly been taking the game into his own hands. Good job, little buddy.
The tough thing is, too, is he did everything right up until that point.
Yeah.
Right? He had the 2 nets, whose names I'm forgetting. He had the wall that went up at the right time, too. I mean, he played that well. You can tell what the plan is. As soon as you know that Oxy's going to go, drop the net, throw the wall up, effectively box him in.
Yeah, and he was boxed in. He actually got 2 players with that nade, I believe. And you even heard Oxy taking it off on Sadak's POV, so I don't blame him, but maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Maybe 2Es didn't have a Omen smoke up in time, or they thought that the Viper orb would last a little bit longer. I mean, something small like that honestly would have made the difference. I feel like Sadak kills 2 there. He kills Oxy and Vanity if that main has a smoke up. So that's a weird mistake that we don't normally see a team like Loud make, which is kind of scary. But this is still a good half. 5 rounds on defense Lotus.
Oh, wow.
That's how he got the kill. That's cold. And you see it, right? Like,
yeah, as soon
once
as
that
the
orb
smoke
goes
went
down, he's like,
yep.
uh-oh.
No real ults to speak of on the side of Cloud9 as we enter the last round of the half. Meanwhile, Loud have a couple to play around. QCK is one away from his. Kamanzine and Les have theirs too. They've learned from the punish on the spam.
I think this should be a straight up C hit here.
Straight into the pit. But the thing is, they're just going to bully through the pit.
Yeah.
Unless Les can hold things down by himself.
The pit was
In
too
his
late.
pit, it would be insane. He's already gotten one, and it helps off of Sadok's utility. He falls. They need to repositions. They're buying time here. They're throwing the hold on this. Les has nowhere to go. That's tragic. What? We just saw 2 Viper Molly kills.
He got boxed in by Sadok.
Who was dead?
I think he actually jumped from the top and landed into that Viper Molly from Rudy with nowhere to go. That is so weird. What a weird interaction in a game.
So through all of that madness at the beginning of the round, everything goes dead silent. They're starting to rotate A, and Tui's is ahead of it.
No way.
Moose decapitates him. Numbers in favor of Cloud9. Space to be had, but QCK with ult. And again, they slow things
30
down.
seconds left.
Realizing they have so much time, they're sending Wingman on a suicide mission. QCK is there for it. Now uses his ult, tries to find some space, holds the trigger for just a moment. Zappa's getting away with it, finally falls. Now Moose is left in a 1v2. He can't get in. He's not even going to be able to get the spike, much less planted at this point. Has to frag his way through, and the kills will not come. The fights will not show up. A 6-6 half.
Nice last round from Loud.
Switching
I mean, it was
sides.
scrappy when the C hit came in.
It was a mess, man.
And C9 did a great job of actually getting out and going towards the A side of the map. Also catching Tui's, who... Oh, yeah, let's see this interaction real quick before I continue. Look, he's just trapped in here. That's so unfortunate.
That's tragic.
That is a tragedy, indeed.
It was such a messy round. But honestly, when it comes to really high-level Valorant, the messy rounds are the ones you got to win.
Yeah.
Right? And if they're able to pull those out, who knows what happens. It was a formidable show from both sides, but we're tied at 6 apiece. I'm being told that the children have taken over the desk. It's just Mimi and Ender. I'm terrified to throw to them, but that's what I'm being told to do. So take it away.
Don't be scared, Doug. We're just gonna play some Valorant. Look, we've got the computers here, and we're gonna walk you through a little bit of what Sadok was doing on the deadlock. Now, the first thing is that Sadok was just doing a lot of fighting.
He was killing a lot of people.
He was killing a lot of people. But if you want to incorporate the deadlock and play a little bit more passively, this is the place to be. So first thing first is, what is the setup on defense? Basically, every round, Sadok was placing his sound sensors in front of B and also in front of C, in these main sort of focal areas where you have to come into a site. And the important thing is he was always playing off of that C sensor, or he had a teammate playing off of the B sensor. And really all it does is, well, it doesn't give you perfect info against a lurk. If you play off it, and Mimi, go ahead and walk in against me here, like all I have to do is see one bullet fired from Mimi, and then the trigger is going to be pulled on that sound sensor. She's going to go. Come on,
if
Mimi.
I'm slowly scaling, so I have a lot of angles to clear. The second I make noise on the walk to try and expedite here, I get stunned.
Yeah, and if we're playing back bend or we're playing closer, like we can go ahead and get an easy kill off of that. And the same thing, we saw a ton of play from inside of baby door area.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you actually do contact into this, you're trying to watch this angle, you're trying to watch from someone swinging you bend. And then if you're clearing closer, you're worried about this angle, you're worried about here, and this sonic sensor, which is really a pain to deal with. So it basically puts like these kind of faster plays towards C off the table.
Yeah, the other thing he was doing was putting down this wall here. Now look at the positioning of this wall. If you can get the orb here to be like as far on that side of the wall as possible, so it can't be seen from main.
No angle I can get through.
Yeah,
here
you
on
can
either
only
side.
spam that. And then if the spam comes in, like Mimi walks into the open, and I can instantly trade a kill, either playing back bend or playing top site, kind of like
It's
this.
even hard to like path with satchels and get through this.
Yeah,
I
she's
just
stuck.
caught in my
Owned.
little prison, instantly owned. That's part of the reason why Cloud9 was very rarely going towards this C site. An impressive half already there. 6-6 for Loud. We'll have to see if they can close out as we hop back into things with Doug and Baby Day.
Thank you so much, guys. One half to decide how this series plays out. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know about you, but we've had a little bit of everything.
And if it's anything like the first map, this is going to be a 13-11 or a potential OT.
Start to see some of the utility go up. I think we need to turn our conversation over to what the Deadlock looks like on attack. I think we saw a lot of cool stuff on defense.
Yeah.
But you wonder here, when you have something like this special cooked up, I don't know if 6 is enough on defense. I think you'd expect to be at a bigger lead. Either way, we'll see what the attack looks like. A little bit of exchange of utility early on. No damage dealt, no kills found. But misdirection really everywhere. A tap of the door, you see smokes going up C, but the spike, unbeknownst to Cloud9, is headed A.
Yeah, and Sadhawk's only job here is to try to keep as many people as he can around this C and B site.
Well, I think the timing's already been found.
And he did a great job doing it. Just that one little door tap that he did right there made 2 people rotate from B to water. And now this A site's for the taking.
I mean, they're making noise. They've got to know now.
How many can Rooney get?
Can Rooney get any? He's got light armor.
Oh, great delay from Rooney.
Oh, he's surrounded. He's got to know he's dead. He falls. That was well handled by Loud, understanding. Oh, but how are you going to deal with the Gecko utility on the other side? Zeppa's already got 2. Third. The 4th will not fall, but Oxy gets him. It's a 1v2. Can Tui's get it? Yes, he can. The Red Bull clutch for Loud. We were just talking about how he's had a slow map.
Literally. I can't believe it. During the halftime, me and Doug were saying how unconfident Tui's look. Getting off of certain angles at the wrong time. But now coming back clutch, getting the 1v2 with this last kill onto Oxy. Nonetheless. Huge pistol round win for Loud. Now, do they actually invest?
Yeah,
they invest this time.
4 rifles. I mean, it couldn't be any further from what we saw last time. See the dog go up. A tap of the door A, and all of Cloud9 is here. You wonder if they choose to stay here. I mean, they put the wall up, they've dogged, they're walking into a death stack.
The util's got to be perfect.
This could be disaster.
Uh-oh.
So much spam already, and I think they've realized, there are way too many people here. We've got to leave. But the question is, much like we saw on Bind, what's the play here? Because Loud are known, we've seen it all series. They'll cut noise, they'll slow things down, and then they'll re-hit.
And re-hitting is the correct play right now. They're so worried about the flank.
I imagine there are going to be a couple of seconds of silence. Right on cue, the door's hit. So much for that.
Beautiful.
They're creeping up behind it. There's a little gap in that wall. Vanity can see all of backside.
Yeah, that ultimately has Tui's having to smoke heaven, allowing the wrath for Kalazine.
He plucked him out of the sky.
Way cleaner of a anti-eco this time around, but also not a force from the side of C9, so maybe they were wishing they would have because they had the right read.
Yeah, I do think the Loud played it well, right? Just in like the minor, just the half pause. Once they realized the stack was there, they cut noise just long enough for a couple of members to leave, and then they re-hit. So yes, there were no guns on the other side, but I think the call was very good.
It was really good idealing from Sadhawk on the re-hit, and like you said, the timing was near perfect. 2-3 players already leaned away from the A side of the map. Another front B heavy default from C9, or from Loud, but this time having the fade, pressure C. So 1-3-1. This looks like it's gonna be a hit.
There's really nobody B. As soon as the wall goes up, you see they try to spam it out and clear it. The paranoia from 2E's pushing forward up into heaven.
It's a very early
Oh, he ulted.
Nothing there.
Nothing again. I'm just kind of excited to see how it's responded to. Smokes drop. Sadhawk still dumping utility as best as he can as Oxy dashes forward. Finally lands a shot onto Sadhawk. Gets a second with it too. They're all on the other side of the smoke. Can 2E's get any more? Oh, the clip runs dry. Vanity at 5 HP. Rooney was so weak as well.
That was so scrappy, and honestly, Sadhawk just kind of fumbling with his utility there. I think he should have gotten both of those trips down on both chokes, one in heaven and one close like he did. Instead, he picked one up and then ended up getting flashed and allowed this retake to come through.
Screen down.
Yeah, dude.
I thought we lost the round.
Good
Yeah.
shot. Same.
Honestly, they should have.
Yeah.
Had Sadok gotten those trips down.
Probably.
That would have been a very hard retake, especially with all that utility. And a very early paranoia as well from Tui's. I don't know. Maybe a little stress. Maybe thinking that C9 was going to flood faster than what they did.
They're going to try to go faster, eh? The eye goes up. Look at the dump of util.
I like that. I like that set utility that we just saw from Loud. Had C9 actually tried to push up into that area,
It's
that
chaos.
deadlock nade would have made everybody crouch.
Yep. Nade on the other side of the wall, off of the Dizzy. Oxy goes forward, ult in hand. He lays the shots on the away. From up top, gets a second to less. 3 on the round. QCK and 2Es remain. Oxy's been dealt with. Spike now scoop back up and attention turned towards A.
That was so fast. So explosive from Oxy and Zeppa.
The thing is, for Loud, there's no explosion left. QCK doesn't have satchels, 2Es doesn't have TP. All it is Roomba and Vanity feeling the pressure, takes a step back.
Oh, they're walking out.
Oh, surprise. They're close.
Enemy
Rooney from
remaining.
up top, though. The cover he needed. Is he going to make it out? He is going to make it out. 2Es with the position to pull off a ridiculous 1v3 if he can find enough space.
Oh, he's not ready for Moose.
Nothing found. We're tied at 8.
Of course we are, Doug.
Yeah, good point. That's a very good point, yeah.
It's bind all over again. This is that explosiveness from Oxy that I was talking about earlier. Off the back of Zeppa. Such good movement.
Enemy Who could have predicted?
I mean, C9 do a lot of things right in these rounds when they're up man advantage. Like Moose getting pushed all the way down C there, allowing his team to take all of that A. Stack it heavy. Rooney covering for Vanity once he got that contact. It's really nice to see.
That spam on the Oxy, he gets tagged.
This turret at C, I know we're all at A, but this turret at C gives so much info for C9 and allows them to actually take the A fights like this.
They invested the Thrash here. Zeppa's going to get the kill onto Oxy. You imagine others will fall shortly thereafter. Really no fight behind the bark for Loud here.
Oh, wait.
Last player standing.
Nah,
Nah.
I don't think there's really a shot here.
I'm going to be expecting a Loud timeout here very shortly. If not, the next round, the one after. Because this turret on C is getting so much info for C9. They're putting it underneath the one-way, and it's really simple to break. But Loud aren't actually fully checking the C area of the map. So even though they're using the Fade Eye and the Fade Prowlers to clear it out, C9 know they're not actually walking into any of this space because that turret is not being broken.
Yeah, it's a passive info.
And that allows them to lean heavy B, heavy A, and take these fights and engagements that they know Loud like to walk into.
I think they've also been aggressively putting up the alarm bot too, towards C. So right on cue, as you mentioned, timeout called from Loud.
Yeah, this is a perfect timing. I think they need to stress this C default a little bit heavier. Make sure they actually push Moose all the way back into sight. Maybe give A space early on and then re-clear the A after that. But right now, it's not a lot of layers to the attack. Loud, they think that they're clearing C, but they're not, and that's where the gap is. They need to pick that up. So I'm assuming the coach of Loud will rail that into them.
Oh, false sense of security. Meanwhile, we haven't really talked about him a ton, but once again, he's putting up a very impressive performance. 18 and 12 for the Star Duelist on the screen.
Yeah, and honestly, these kills on defense have been looking like he's playing attack.
Yeah.
Because he's retaking certain space, but it's just so aggressive. And with utility, he's not really doing it dry. I think that's the key difference in this matchup is wherever Oxy is, he has a lot of utility with him. And that's what you want. You want to enable him. And when this guy's feeling these timings, his mechanics shine.
Whoa, very different Viper wall. Out from Loud this time.
Yeah,
It's a fight for C.
it's kind of what I said. Like, they need to do the C.
Yep.
Now, investing an entire Viper wall to do it,
Is that too much?
it might be overkill, but if they are going to shift their focus over to the C area and not have an A-lurk as much anymore, then maybe it'll open up more gateways for them to just manipulate rotations.
The alarm bot finally gets cleared out.
Yeah.
What's the response from Cloud9? They don't move. I think it was the tap of the door and then the clearing of the alarm bot was enough for Cloud9 to stay put.
See, there it is. They finally cleared all of C, and that keeps 2 players of C9 there. But Zeppa spotting this orb up should get the info pretty soon. You're going to see Oxy start shifting over to his A side of the map. Right on cue.
And the tap of the door gives away presence that it seemed like Cloud were trying to conceal. Because they dogged their way up too. Yeah, I think you're right. But the door isn't broken yet. Now that should be the cue. With Oxy dead and a kill found on the site, that should be enough for them to go. And that they do. Trampling forward onto B. You see Cloud9 starting to rotate in. You've got a couple of members back cut. You've got one up heaven as well. Zeppa with utility. He's got Wingman and he's got Gecko. Or Dizzy, excuse me. There's the first. The Paranoia. Counting in a world of hurt. Utility all over the place, but somehow manages to dance around and stay alive. Play his life. Ultimately falls. Meanwhile, they're getting pinched in on. TCK less than 2 with so much to do, and they all fall. Cloud9 with a beautiful retake.
Wow. They're so patient, too. Like, baiting out all the utility from the attacker side and then going in off of 1 Omen Flash from Vanity. And Zeppa right now has been actually insane on this map. And the last map, actually. He played great on the stage, too. But him and Oxy, this 1-2 punch on the retake has been so good.
That was a 4v5 with so much space.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Mound, they had B.
Yeah, that's a brutal round to lose. You could see it on the coach's face.
4 rounds in a row for Cloud9. That's the most we've seen all map.
Oxy with an operator.
They've taken a lot of space mid, though. I don't think they know. Rudy's here! He gets 2! The satchel in the face as Rudy claims the 3rd! What a setup! Effectively using Oxy as bait. What a play from Rooney.
That was such a good bait.
Drop the spike.
And they're just willing to give all of this B and A space and just play the 4v2 retake. C9 are so disciplined, really showing that they can compete with the best of the best. And we're going to need to see Les and Tui's have some heroics here. And I wonder if Les is going to grab this orb. He's not going to grab the orb, so he won't have Viper ult online yet.
Well, the thing is, even with them toggling that Viper wall, see, there's so much utility that it's not selling anything, left. But they're still respecting it so much. I think they're more paranoid of a hit being B than they are of it being C.
Poison's off.
But the spike goes down, and now they know where the hit is.
And Thrash is online for Zeppa. This is going to be used on the retake. They're just going to group up.
Not just Thrash, too. Again, they have Wingman. They have Dizzy. There's the first. Oh, he's so dead. Done.
Player.
Yeah. What a tragic way to go.
Super nice play from C9. Super nice play from C9. They didn't care. They didn't care about B. They didn't care about A. The whole setup was to not let Loud get any kills to bring it back. That was the whole point. Just playing, really disciplined, playing together, and trusting the fact that they'll have each other's backs on the retake.
What a round from Rooney, man. Unreal.
This kill
Spike.
on the raise. Nuts.
Nice. Good job, Dylan. Let's go. Run that.
Come grab the kill.
They can feel it. The win is within their grasp.
Just 2 rounds away now. 5 rounds in a row for the defense. I don't know what the answers are for Loud here.
Yeah, and like, what was the point of using that seawall the last couple rounds? You're just gonna bring it back to A on this round? It's Rooney's not buying it at all. He does an aggro Viper ult on A. That's gonna allow them to stack B and C.
That's so far up. A decisive hit towards C. VCT trying to find some space, and Vanity greets him between the mollies, between the spam. It's all too much.
It's crumbling, Doug.
They still have so many members on the site, too. The only person not here is Rooney. And he's going to join the fray here in just a moment. Things are falling apart for Loud. Talk about feeling like you can smell it, you can taste it. It's all coming together. Cloud9 gets a series point.
Match point.
Cloud9 are so good. Way better than I think a lot of people thought they were. Probably better than they thought they were going to be themselves.
It's just so many things going their way. Everything.
Nice, boys! One more.
This team is so scary when they get momentum, when they string rounds together. It just feels like they just run away with it.
That's 6 rounds in a row. Oxy at 20-14, Zeppa at 19-11. You're finally starting to see some of what the ideal was on the counter to fight for a main, but they still get the space.
It's deadlock. Although Sadhawk's been honestly owning on the character, utility hasn't been the best, I would say, or the most ideal.
Yeah, it really felt like they needed to win more on defense, and they did. And Cloud9 have capitalized on it. They've pounced.
Look at this, even Rooney just holding this entire C line. This is why C9 has been 4 people on every single site. That's a great ult.
But Oxy's there on the counter. He tries to get aggressive. He's traded. QCK pushing forward. Vanity cocooned to death. As numbers in favor of Loud for the first time, really, in a very long time. Moose not able to steady the aim.
I respect it, though.
And it seems like Loud will stay alive for one more round. Zeppa's done and dusted as Loud gets 9.
That was a cool little retake there. I mean, Loud does have the ults. If they don't get first blooded, they can actually make their way into sites. They have the ult economy to actually bring this back to at least 11.
This would be a ridiculous comeback in the face of 6 rounds. Cloud9 with triple map point, triple series point, excuse me.
A lurk smoke used this time towards C, but that turret is still up. And they're doing a bait and switch setup here.
Yeah, Moose is
much like we saw Sentinels do.
Moose is so far up. But they're gonna hit B.
Uh-oh. That is not ideal, I don't think.
Oh no.
Is he trapped in there?
Yeah, they're trying to get him out.
And that's the fatal.
He stays alive. QCK takes some damage. The pit invested. How much can they find? They're gonna have to pay attention to so many fronts. The pit's down. But so are Rooney and Oxy. Cloud9 falling apart. Can Moose and Zeppa do it on their own? It's all on to Moose now. A 1v1. Sonic sweep! And Moose delivers! All of the questions about Cloud9, they've been answered. They're just as good as they've shown the last couple of weeks. Oxy isn't the future. The future is now. Cloud9 take down Loud.
What a moment. This is crazy. I don't think anybody expected this outcome. C9 deserve it all. They grinded, picked up 2 new players, and the team chem is all coming together now, enabling Oxy to do whatever he pleases. And with that, Zeppa supporting him, allowing for Rooney to also step up to the plate. Vanity having his moments. Moose with the clutches. He's been very stable for them.
He's been a rock. Nice. He's been incredible.
And 7 first bloods again for Oxy. This guy in this series must have had at least like, if not 20, 17, I would assume.
He was outrageous.
He's crazy, man.
And again, all of these questions, because I think this was a very good litmus test for both teams. I think we learned a lot about where these 2 teams stand against the field. And I think what we learned is that Oxy is so real. Any questions about whether or not he was real, they're done. I mean, you got to get rid of them at this point. Those are a distant memory. I think Cloud9 are as cohesive as we thought they might have been.
Yeah.
You're right. Vanity's calling looks incredible.
It's great on attack.
And the truth is, I mean, he's been on the receiving end of a lot of criticism in the past about whether or not he could hang, about whether or not he could call effectively. He just out-called Sada.
He truly did. It's really impressive. But I mean, he's played at an international level before. So this is nothing actually new. It's just been so long since he's had the light again.
An outrageous performance from Cloud9. I think, again, the additions of Moose and Rooney have to be celebrated. We talked about them a lot, and they've delivered every single time they've been up to the plate.
Yeah.
There really doesn't feel like there's been anything lacking from either of those guys. Moose just 4K'd to put Loud away.
He's been waiting for his moment for a very long time.
And he's seizing it.
That chem he got. Playing on Shopify with Vanity. Bringing him back to C9. Rooney coming back to C9. A lot of players on this roster that have a lot to prove, and they're hungry for it. You could see it in the gameplay. You could see it in how they disrespect teams that a lot of teams in this league right now wouldn't have the gall to do. They wouldn't have the sheer willpower to even go through with that and to take fights as they take against like less. You know, you see Oxy pushing all the way into spawn on Bind, disrespecting everything like that. Even on this map, he was going crazy with the explosiveness.
Cloud9 do it again. They take down Loud. We're going to throw it to Liz down at the stage for the Verizon post-match interview.
The Moose is usually loose, but I've managed to corner him for the post-match interview. Give it up for Moose, everyone. What an incredible day. You won the game for your team. How do you feel right now?
I don't know about that, but I feel really good.
Last round?
Yeah, I had to step up eventually, so.
Eventually. Well, I mean, you have been so consistent and so good. You've been grinding this game since I even entered the industry. I've seen you play for so many teams. What do you bring to Cloud9 specifically?
I mean, I'm a fifth player. I have a nice spot in Oxy's backpack for most of the games, and then, you know, some rounds I can, you know, pull it through for the team like the last round.
Well, talk to me about, like, you know, Oxy, because the desk was talking about it, the people are talking about how you guys set Oxy up for success. You know, Oxy go kill. You know, you are a Sentinel player, so how do you set Oxy up?
I mean, on Bind today, I saved a gun. I was the only one with a gun. He goes, yo, Caleb, let me get your gun. So it's like when Oxy asks for your gun, you drop it and don't ask questions.
Simple as that. I know Oxy says, like, I want this gun, I want this skin. You're like, yes, sir. Anything you want, sir.
Exactly.
Completely fair. I do have to ask you, and I did talk to you about this before the interview. Your girlfriend, Alexis, is currently in London, and there was a photo of her on the internet. I have permission for her to ask you this, where she is crouched in the streets of London at 2 a.m. watching your game, very, very stressed out. 1, Lexi, stand up. He won. 2, would you like to say anything to her?
I love you very much, and I was also stressed, so we were sharing in it together.
So who do you think was more stressed, you or Lexi?
Probably her.
Well, now she can stand up, now she can relax, now she can get some sleep because it is 2 a.m. Going back to the Oxy thing, the Oxy factor, kind of what the people are talking about is this defining factor of C9 is Oxy. From Kickoff to now, obviously you joined the team for stage 1. What is it like playing with a player like that who gives away PCs on the reg, apparently?
I mean, for me, it's like a little bit of a change because obviously there's not as many kills. So I'm ending scrims and matches with 10 kills, and it's like a little change not to be down on yourself because he just has 35 kills every game. There's not as much to go around. So you just gotta play your best, and when he wins rounds for you, you just say good job and move on to the next one.
I know, so it's like kind of like that mental game of like, I'm doing good, but Oxy's doing great, and we have to set him up.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even really need to set him up. He does a lot. Like, he's just incredible. So we do what we can, but he deserves a lot of the credit for himself.
Well, you deserve credit too, because you've been playing fantastic, and it has been excellent talk to you, Moose. Thank you so much. Give it up for Moose one more time, everyone. But we have a treat, because Oxy is actually at the analyst desk, so we're going to throw it to him and learn what exactly the Oxy factor is.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Yes, Oxy, trying to give him a little bit of time to think, a little bit of time to soak it in, but man, what a great moment for you guys. Yeah. The reactions at the end of that game, there's desk slamming, there's super saiyaning, there's all of that. Looks like this win meant a ton to you guys today.
Well, Loud's obviously the world champions. They're insane. First time, I've played basically a world-class team. So, I mean, I don't know. We beat them, so I guess I don't know what to say.
That's huge.
Did it feel different going into the game against a team like Loud versus the squads you've played thus far?
No, honestly, I like to keep the same mindset, which is not to think at all. So, yeah.
I wanted to ask you about it because you've said you don't think. Rooney in an interview was like, I don't really have to think anymore. I'm not the ideal. Who thinks for Cloud9?
Who thinks?
Who's the thinker?
I make jokes. And Vanity, I guess he thinks a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just enough?
Yeah, just enough to IGL us around.
So how does that work when you're actually in the server? Is he calling a lot of just like the pre-runs for you guys? How much of like the actual macro is he calling? Is he like very much like controlling everything or?
Not very micro. Maybe like more of the bigger picture, like where we start, and then Zeppo or Eric will just like control us around, and then I'll just do whatever I want, basically, with no thinking.
I noticed there was a few rounds in both Bind and Icebox in particular where you would like, get a kill on attack, like entering into the site, and then push pipes on Bind and go into spawn and go for a kill, or dash up onto rafters and look into spawn. Is that like so chill with you to like go look for those like deep kills?
100%. Basically, we were playing 4v5, so if I get a kill, we're basically up. So
love it.
That works. That works, indeed. On top of that, I want to ask, you've had these 2 new additions come into the team, but the other 3 of you have now been on the team together for quite a while. During the offseason, you played a lot of events together, traveling all around the world, hopping on over to different locations for games. I want to ask what the like personal relationships and like the vibe in the team is. How close are you to your teammates? How have they kind of brought you into the fold now playing in Tier 1 in Americas?
Well, I'm very talkative, so I like to make a lot of jokes, but Eric is basically like a bigger brother to me. Vanity, maybe we call him like an uncle.
Okay.
I'm like an uncle. Envy is
he
like...
a cool uncle, though?
Yeah, he's like a cool uncle. Like, he lets me do whatever I want.
uncle.
Yeah. Envy is dad. Who is mom? Googly is our assistant coach. Basically,
your mom?
Yep. And then Dylan is like the middle brother, and I'm probably like the smallest. And then Caleb...
Dylan Rooney?
Yeah, Caleb's like, Rooney. And Moose, she's like a cousin. Basically right now.
It's a whole family.
Yeah, it's a whole family.
Oh, we thought of this out. Everyone has their kind of role in the family. I just want to quickly bring it back. You guys on Bind, that's like a really volatile map. You guys are fighting all the time. You're like getting into lamps, like you're getting through into vents, like this crazy timings you're finding. Obviously, probably frustrated to come out of that map with the loss there as well. Like, how do you guys sort of bounce back into Icebox?
To be honest, we expected to win that map, so we weren't really like sad about it. But we're like, obviously, we made mistakes ourselves, so. The loss is on us, so we just kept going. Just played the game.
And then Icebox is a wash. You absolutely rolled them on that map.
Yeah,
What's that about?
We're Icebox players, basically. No one knows.
I mean, it looked like it. Was there any specific adjustment that you called out between games going from Bind to Icebox?
Well, one, we gotta play like it's a scrim, because hey, that's how we usually play. And then 2, just swing. That's all we gotta do. Just stop thinking and swing. That's it.
Have you felt no pressure? Playing Tier 1, getting up on a bigger stage, ascending from Tier 2? Has it just all made sense? Because it seemed like you got out the gate swinging. Your debut match in Americas.
Come a long way.
You're screaming, you're popping off. You seem so comfortable up there.
I definitely got a lot of my confidence from the off-season like tournaments and stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I'm just like a happy little dude, and I just swing. I just have fun.
It shows.
We got a question coming in from Twitch chat here, Oxy, from Stephen Meister. We kind of talked about it a little bit as well, but there has been a change in this team. You're already talking about these teammates as a family, right? Are you surprised at how quickly you've been able to come together?
Honestly, for me, no, because I'm very talkative. I like open up everything, so I get really close to people fast. But for everyone else, I don't really know, but it just feels like a family to me.
It feels like you guys really meshed straight off the bat. I mean, look at this, like 3 wins in stage 1. You guys are looking really, really good. Yep. Now, thanks for your time. It's great to have a chat with you, man. With the day starting to come to a close, let's take a look at our standings in our Alpha and Omega groups respectively, because this is going to really set the tone for the rest of this Super Week. How about that, your boy? Charlie 9 is up the top, 3-0 for Cloud9 with 3 championship points in there. Got to feel pretty good to sit at the top of that group.
100%.
And elsewhere, of course, like, Loud, obviously with 0-2, like, is there they don't make playoffs?
Yes, there seriously is. So the remaining schedule, I believe they have Crew, Sentinels, and G2. So if you assume Sentinels are beating them, you have to have 2 wins to have a chance of qualifying for playoffs. So if they do not not perform in a game against Crew or G2, it is dire. There's a very high chance in that world that they, lose one of those games, that they don't make it.
Okay.
That's scary stuff. I want to ask you though. You're a confident guy. You're the one player who will answer this. No one's ever thought of that before. Where do you place Cloud9 end of the season? Where do you see yourself?
I don't want to answer this question because I'm good at jinxing myself, so I will not say anything.
Okay.
I see a smile though.
Mm-hmm. We do get you talking in between rounds, right? We can hear that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had like. I think I'm the best player in Valorant, bro. Love that vibe, love that energy. Keep that confidence, man. Don't be afraid to say it. Super Week continues tomorrow, of course, with 2 more matches. First up, it's the undefeated, yeah, you heard me, Crew. They're on a run, taking on the winless Evil Geniuses. And then it's a certified grade A USDA Prime Gigabanger NRG versus Leviathan. Demon 1 versus Aspas. Leviathan, of course, got to be feeling pretty good. In decent shape at this stage, but, NRG looked absolutely terrifying coming out of the gates. That's definitely going to be a game to watch.
How do you rate NRG right now, Oxy? A lot of people are saying that they're the best team in Americas.
I think definitely top 3. Sen, well, obviously they lost the first game, but honestly, they're still at least top 1 or 2. 1 or 2, I don't know.
I mean,
which
they
one.
look great in their game this morning.
Yeah, and NRG, top 3, yeah, probably.
I wonder who that third team is.
We're curious. We're keeping that one close to the chest, apparently. Well, everybody, it's been a fantastic kickoff to our Super Week, and as I said, we've got more coming tomorrow, so we look forward to seeing you then. But for now, good night, and we'll see you when the sun comes up again.
Thank you, Oxy.
Yeah.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Every round. User. You might be. Will it signal the go button? Yes, it will, but they're being blinded up and just sprayed down. Postman, though, Tens can play this position. He just needs to isolate these fights. It's tucked and well, hearing that sound. No way! Central over the top. Do they? Made himself notice, surely. Evacuation, but not enough to evade. Just few straight shots. And it's all Sentinels now, 13-7, map 2.
Judge in hand, Vanity again. He's gonna get a both, isn't he? Yeah, he is. That Judge, brother! It's all on the left now. Zephyr weak! Dead, that's a spike! Spike down. It's out of reach. Ruby and Soul look work to do, and left delivered for Loud again. As soon as the wall goes down, it's gonna be chaos. Oh, they face it! Oxy gets 3! Oh, he's gonna try. He's gonna find it. There you go. Yeah! And they're all falling apart.
That was such a convincing map win.
The fourth will not fall, but Oxy gets him. It's a 1v2. Can Tui get it? Yes, he can. I don't think they know Rudy's here.